McDonnell Douglas DC-8 versus Boeing 707. The two aircraft that brought military jet engine technology to civilian passenger flights, opening up the world to international travel. At the time, the world relied on slow piston-engined aircraft with less range, though the race between manufacturers was about to change that. Britain got off to an early start with their Comet, but being first had a price to pay. The Comet suffered cabin pressurization issues from day one and carried a small number of passengers. While Britain struggled to fix its issues, America would go on to overtake them, with two leading manufacturers, Douglas and Boeing, dominating the civilian market at the time. Both would launch two new jetliners, which would go on to receive their model names 707 and DC-8, and fiercely took each other on in the race of jet aircraft. But which aircraft deserved to have won the race? Over 50 years later, we take a trip back to the 1960s and answer this question. But before we do, if you're new here, a warm welcome and do stay tuned for more great videos on the way. Performance. DC-850 and 707-320B both carry 189 passengers in a one-class standard layout. The 707 has the engine range, flying 5,000 nautical miles, 100 nautical miles more than DC-8. All in all, though, both still outfly piston aircraft at the time. Engines. Both feature Pratt & Whitney JT3D engines, one of the only jet engines to power jetliners at the time. Back then, they were the most efficient offerings while still producing 17,500 pounds of thrust each for the 707 and 18,000 pounds of thrust for the slightly heavier DC-8. Nowadays, these are considered inefficient relics of the past, with low bypass ratios resulting in lots of noise and fuel burn. When it comes to cabins, flying in the past may be viewed as something for the wealthy, but in terms of seats and amenities, they aren't anywhere near as comfortable as passenger aircraft today. That said, in terms of space, these make modern aircraft look like sardine cans, with both having 34 inches of seat pitch for all. However, these were so basic that overhead bins weren't standard, and airlines did end up installing overhead racks without covers, while the cabin was extremely noisy. That said, the gourmet meals for everyone more than makes up, till you look at the price, which costs nearly 1/10 the price of a small house for a round trip across the Atlantic. Yep, that's not an exaggeration. Advantages and disadvantages. The DC-8 was a more reliable design with more proven technology at the time, though this also gave it some downsides. The big one being the fact the aircraft failed initially to meet its performance guarantees, being heavier and slow. The 707 was a newer, more bold design and met most of its performance guarantees. Also, Boeing was first in a jet-powered race, while McDonnell Douglas was always playing catch-up. And this catch-up had impacts on sales. By the time McDonnell Douglas perfected their DC-8 with the newest Super 60, Boeing had launched the 747. Douglas was always behind both in technology and innovation. As a result, the 707 won the race, receiving 865 orders to 556 of the DC-8. So then, who won the jetliner battle of the 60s? Well, there's one clear winner. With its newer design, better performance, and easier controls for pilots to land in crosswinds, the 707 was so good that the basic fuselage shape and configuration influenced aircraft design till today, with 737s flying today sharing similar fuselage parts designed for the 707.